Hello once again. Good day. I am so happy that you have survived our first module. And now we are on the second module. Okay? So I hope you have downloaded it already. I've sent it to your group chat, to our Google Classroom, and to our private FB page. So to those also who haven't submitted their Module 1 activities yet, please do so that your work will not be piling up. Before doing so, it is really nice to ask God's guidance as we have our discussion this morning. Let us pray. Our most gracious and kind loving Heavenly Father, praises and glory be unto you, dear Lord, for giving us this another chance to learn about general mathematics, especially in rational functions, rational equations, and rational inequality. May you be with my students, open their minds and ideas to understand the lesson for today. Give them wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. This I pray in Jesus' name, Amen. In your module also, it asks that you are going to make a testimony regarding your experience during this pandemic or this lockdown. What was your experience? Is staying at home so boring? Or did you help your parents in the household chores and all the things that needs to be done at home? Okay? Our lesson for the week is all about rational functions. These rational functions, we will only discuss two main objectives. The first one, in your module, it says that you are to distinguish between a rational function, a rational equation, and the last one is a rational inequality. You are going to distinguish the difference between the three. What is that? Differences in forms of equations and functions, and how can you write it? The second one is the finding solutions in rational equations and rational inequality. We are going to solve rational equations and rational inequality. And again, the activities is attached on the last page of the module. Remember, you don't have a book yet. So I attach the activities in there. You can write the answer on a one whole sheet of paper, or you can maybe write it in a yellow paper. I will consider yellow paper. If you will write it in a bond paper, that is fine. Make sure that it is aligned. Okay? Now, let us go to our lesson proper. How can you differentiate between the three? A rational function, a rational equation, and a rational inequality. Well, when you say ratio, what does that mean? Ratio. It is an example of A over B. That is ratio, A over B. An element of A over B. In a rational function or rational equations, these are two polynomials on the numerator and the denominator. Two polynomials, okay? Ratio also, A is to B, others will say A is to B, something like that. Now, for rational function, to write it in a rational function, you do f of x, something like that, equals x squared plus 2 over, maybe you can just write 2, or you can do x minus 3 over x, something like that. That is an example of a function, the function of x. But remember, class, when you say a rational function, make sure that the exponent, these are the don'ts. The exponent is not a radical or fraction. So, don'ts in a rational function, exponents are non-radicals. Okay? The exponents must not be radical. Example, f of x is equal to 2 square root, something like that, square root of x minus 3 over x. This is not a function, a rational function, okay? Now, second, exponents are not fractions. So the exponent is not a fraction. It is f of x is equal to 2 to the power of 1/2, something like that. That is not a rational function. Minus x over 3. So that is not a rational function, okay? Also, exponents. Aside from exponents, the base are not radicals. So the base must not also be radical. Exponents and bases. Exponents and bases are not radicals. Okay? So, I hope you know what a rational function is. A rational equation is another form of a rational or algebraic expression in ratio form. In ratio form, like example, 1 over 2 plus x over 4 equals 3, 6. Something like that. That is just an example. I did not know if that is really the correct way, but the answer is 3 over 6, but we will solve it later, okay? 1/2 plus x over 4 equals 3 over 6. Or, you can say 2 over x is equal to 3/4. Something like that. These are examples of rational equations. There is equal sign. In other words, you are going to find the value of x so that this equation will equal to 3/6. Or this one, you need to find the value of x so that it becomes 3 over 4. That is a rational equation. Rational equation, look at the difference. In a rational function, it started with f of x equals, and there are restrictions as well. The restrictions of rational functions is applicable for rational equations. Okay? Now, on the last part, of course, from the word inequality, from the word equation, so that is equal sign. From the word inequality, there are 4 inequality symbols that we are familiar with. This is what? Okay. Greater than or equal to, lesser than or equal to. These are the inequality symbols that you need to know. Example, to make a rational becomes an inequality, it is 3 plus x over 4 is lesser than or equal to 0. That is an example of a rational inequality. The symbol is an inequality symbol. In a rational equation, the symbol is an equal sign. But for a function, it is f of x, and there are restrictions for it. Okay? The exponents and bases are non-radicals. You will not do like that, or f of x is equal to square root of x plus 3 over x, something like that. Okay? Thank you. So, and the exponents are not fractions. So, these are the differences of the three and how you can distinguish that it is a function, an equation, or an inequality. So, if you have questions, save that one on our Zoom meeting next week on your scheduled time. We will have Zoom, so you need to ask questions on the first objective. Let us proceed to the second one. This is solving rational equations And the last one is solving rational inequality. So, for solving rational equation, can I erase? For solving rational equations, you are going to find the value of x on the given equation. Let us erase this one first. Let us focus on rational equation. You are going to find the value of x. In your activity, I asked you to solve all the odd numbers of page 67. Now today, we are going to solve all even numbers of page 67. From numbers 1 to 10. I said 1 to 10. So we are going to solve all even numbers from 1 to 10. Therefore, we have 5 solutions and examples today. First, this is number 2. X over 5 equals 15 plus x over 3. 4. 6 plus 4 over x equals negative 5. So we will try to solve this one. In your module, I presented three methods to solve this. I presented 3 methods. Okay? The first one is by LCD. The second one is multiplying by its denominator. And the third one is cross-multiplying. Where cross-multiplying, there are restrictions to it. You cannot, cross-multiplying is not for every rational equations. Like this one, you cannot cross-multiply because there are 2 terms already, including this one. Maybe I will give example, not on the book, that you can cross-multiply. Okay? Now, let us proceed. For this one, the easiest way, if you want, is to multiply the whole equation by its denominator. Or get the LCD of the denominator. In this one, remember 15 is a whole number. The denominator of 15 is 1. So you can do x over 5 equals 15 over 1 plus x over 3. Something like that. So your denominator is 5. 1 and 3. You are going to multiply the whole equation with the LCD or the denominator. What's the LCD of 5 and 3? It is 15. Okay, 15. After that one, you divide it with the denominator and multiply with the numerator. Or you can multiply, divide. But I prefer that you divide and multiply. Okay? Divide. These are the steps. Divide to its denominator. Then, second, multiply to its numerator. So divide, multiply. You do 15 divided by 5. It is 3. 3 times x, then this is the next step. 3x. So the answer for that is 3x. 15 divided by 5, you divide it to its denominator. 15 divided by 5 times x. So it is 3x. Equals, so you put equal sign because there's equal sign on it. 15 divided by 1, it is still 15. 15 times 15, so 15 squared, it is 225. 15 squared is 225. Next, plus 15 divided by 3, it is 5. 5 times x, it is 5 times x. It is 5x. Did you get that? So, okay. Next, after this one, you are going to combine. Step 3. Combine like terms. So combine these two, 3x and 5x. If the bigger number is on this side, so you transfer x to the other side. If the bigger number, absolute value of this one, transfer as well. So this time, let us transfer 225, but any method will do. Let's have 2. If I will transfer 5x here, the equation is 3x minus 5x equals 225. Or, if you do the inverse, which is also correct, you do negative 225 equals 5x minus 3x. Any of the two will do. Any of the two. Next, subtract. It is negative 2x equals 225. 3 minus 5, that's negative 2. This is negative 225 over 5 minus 3. It is positive 2x. And to get x, of course, you need to get rid of 2. Divide the whole equation with negative 2. Make sure, it's only 2 here because 2 is positive. So cancel. The answer is x. 225 over, it becomes all negative 2. If 1 is negative, the equation becomes negative. The answer becomes negative. So that becomes negative 225 over 2. That is the value of x. Our answer is very big because this one is very big. Supposedly in the book, I think it's still 15 to make it small number. That's okay because we already solved it. Now, the second one, same process. Let us get the denominator and multiply the whole thing with the denominator itself. Now, for 6, what is the denominator if it's a whole number? It is 1. So 6 over 1 plus 4 over x equals negative 5 over 1. It is all 1. I will not write any more these steps. Let us proceed directly with the answer, okay? Multiply the whole equation with 1 and x. What do you think is the LCD for all of these things? It is x. So, x divided by 1, it is still x. X times 6, that is 6x. X divided by x, so if you divide x divided by x, cancel, the answer is 1. So 1 times 4, it is 4. There's no x anymore, okay? Because you cancel. 4 equals x divided by 1, it is x, times negative 5, it's negative 5x. So that is the answer, 6x plus 4 equals negative 5x. Okay? After that one, you are going to combine like terms. Combine like terms. You combine all x's to one side. Since that is negative, it is really nice to know by looking how to transfer and combine. So for this one, since that is negative, it is nice that this one will be transferred so that it becomes positive. So that is 6x plus 5x equals, you transfer negative 4. Remember that if it passes the equal signs, kung mulapas sa equal sign, the sign changes. From positive, basta mulapas, it becomes negative. It is 11x equals negative 4. Okay? Divide it with 11. So x equals negative 4 over 11. So that is the equation. Okay? Now, I will add another one. Can I erase this one? Okay. Don't worry, since this is just a recorded video, you can just pause so that you can follow. Now, let us proceed to number 6. X plus 5 equals x over 3. X plus 5 over x over 3. And then, number 8, I will just give up to 8, okay? Or 10. 8. Sige. I will just make it closer. Number 8, it is 2 plus 5x over 7 equals 3x over 4. And number 10, 7 over x plus 1 over 4 equals 9 over x. Okay? We have 3 numbers more. After that, we will proceed directly to rational inequality. So, this one, how can you solve that? Actually, the one thing that you can solve, you are going to make over 1 on the denominator. So the whole thing is for the numerator over 1. That is okay. For this time, class, cross multiplication is applicable. Cross multiplication. Since you can put over 1, you can cross multiply it. Cross multiply. So you do 3. I-multiply na ni mo siya tanan dire. 3 parenthesis x plus 5 equals 1 times x, it is just x. So cross multiplication right away. Distribute. 3x plus 3 times 5, it is 15 equals x. Okay? Next, combine like terms. Transfer. That becomes 3x minus x, because that's positive, it becomes negative. And 15, when you transfer it, it becomes negative 15. So after this, that is 2x equals negative 15. Divide it with 2. X is negative 15 over 2. So that is the value of x. Okay? So, any questions so far? If you don't know how to cross multiply, you can also use the method that we solved earlier, because they have the same answer. You can try it, and we need to compare. Compare it if they still have the same answer. Because by looking at it, they still have the same answer. Okay? Let's proceed to this one. Now, you cannot do something like this, cross multiplication. It is because one is a whole number, the other is a fraction on one side. So you do 2 over 1 plus 5x over 7 equals 3x over 4. Multiply it with the denominator. But if the denominator, for example, this one is very big, you cannot multiply 7 and 4. You don't do the LCD. That's okay. You just write 7 and 4 without changing it. After that one, let us cancel. 7 times 4 divided by 1. After that, multiply it with 2. So, since you are at home, and I think you have calculators with you, 7 times 4 is 28. Divided by 1 is 28. Times 2, it is, very good, 56. That is 56. For this one class, since they have the same 7, you just cancel 7. And the remaining number is 4. 4 times 5, it is 20x. You put x because there's no x on it. And the last one. If it is 4 again, so cancel 4, ang nabilin, 7. 7 times 3, that is 21x. Did you get that? After that, combine. Combine again. Transfer. That becomes 56, positive still because wala ning lapas sa equal sign. Lalagyan mo na siya dira. It is 21x minus 20x. Ang 20 lang nag-change of sign, kaya transfer. I'm sorry, 56 equals 21 minus 20 is just 1. You don't need to put 1, just put directly x. So the answer is 56 on this equation. Okay? The last one. 7 over x plus 1/4 equals 9 over x. So in this case, you have 2 x's. But if you will get the LCD, the first x, the second is 4, and the third is x. To get the LCD, it is x. It is 4, and that is x. You just bring down all. LCD, since pareha na siya, just bring down 1 times 4, so the answer is 4x. So your LCD is still 4x. There are many ways to show it. Just like this, or you can just do directly or cross multiply. Actually, it is found on your module. There are 3 solutions in there. But let us proceed. 4x, multiply the whole equation with 4x. I will not write it again, but I will just place 4x over here to make it fast. 4x divided by x, you can do 4x divided by x, cancel, the answer is 4. So 4 times 7, it is 28. After that, put plus sign. 4x divided by 4, it is x. So, 4x divided by 4, cancel, the answer is just x. X times 1, it is x. And the last, 4x divided by x, it is 4. 4 times 9, it is 36. So, combine like terms, x equals 36 minus 28. What do you think is the answer? Very good. It is 8. The answer is 8. And that ends rational equation. Finding rational equations. Finding the value of x in rational equations. That is why I think we are done with the first 2 hours. You can do the activity already because the remaining hour will be for the rational inequality. Okay, rational inequality. Let us do this one piece by piece so that you can understand. So for maybe this meeting, you just answer rational equation, and for the next meeting, it is rational inequality because rational inequality is a bit challenging than rational equation. They have different solutions and they have different formation or they have different process of solving. So we need to be meticulous in finding rational inequality. Any questions so far? Thank you. Now, can I erase? Let us proceed to the next. Rational inequality. In rational inequality, it is really different from rational equations because of the inequality symbol. And let us solve it piece by piece using the following steps as well. In your activity, I only give you 2 activities. And now we will also solve. I think those are odd numbers, if I'm not mistaken, excuse me. So that my example will not be the same with the activity that you will solve. Oh, it's not on my module. I don't know what activities did I give. Patay. Sige, this one. Kanina lang. Let's start with the easiest. We will do 2. 1 over x lesser than 4. And the second one, x minus 9 over 3x plus 2 lesser than or equal to 3. Something like that. We will do 2 because the equation is quite long. The solution, I mean, is quite long. Let us do it step by step. Step 1. Step 1. Step 1, okay. Transfer according in your book, in your handout, page, I forgot this page. Write the inequality with a single rational expression. So you transfer all. Single rational expression. Do not do like this. So you do 1 over x. When you transfer it, that's positive. It becomes minus 4 lesser than, wala na may number na bilin, it becomes 0. Transfer. Okay? After that one, the second step, it says determine the meaningful numbers and set the denominator to 0. Something like that. Next, use the meaningful number to separate. Before that, let us have a single rational expression. Single rational expression. S2, to get the single rational expression, it is just the same in the elementary days when you do 1/2 minus 3. You need to make a single term for that. That's 2 because it's over 1 and then you put all. 2, that is 6, something like that. Single. For this one, the LCD is x. So x divided by x, it is 1. Times 1, it is 1. X divided by 1, you divide. X divided by 1 is x. Times negative 4, it is negative 4x lesser than 0. And that is the equation already. Okay? That is a rational expression already. Rational expression. Dili na ing anak nga tagsa-tagsa ha. It is over x na tanan. Usa ko na siya nimo. Over x. Okay? After that one, it says separate the numerator and the denominator and equate it to 0. You are going to equate to 0. According here, separate the numerator to denominator and equate it to 0. You are going to equate. When you say equate, it must be equal. Equate it to 0. For this one, step 3, 1 minus 4x equals 0. Equate to 0. After that one, transfer. It becomes negative 4x equals negative 1. Divided by negative 4. X, since negative divided by negative, that becomes positive 1 over 4. Positive 1 over 4. That is for the numerator. For the denominator, it is just x equals 0. So, that's okay. Because it is just x equals 0. After that one, make a number line into 3 sets. Because you have 2. What is that? Restrictions. Let us see. I may have. Since this is a positive 1/4, I will not put like this. This is 1/4. This one is 0. This is a number line. Imaginary number line. I will just delete it. What are numbers between 0 and 1/4? What are the numbers between 0 and 1/4? Is 1/2 greater than 1/4? Something like that. Or what are the numbers between 0 and 1/4? Is 1/8 greater than 1/4? Let us solve, okay? Now, what are numbers greater than 1/4? All numbers greater than 1/4 are located here. Let us do whole numbers to make it easier. 1, 2, 3, because those are greater. And what are numbers lesser than 0? You also place it here. negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, dot, dot, dot. Can you see that? Okay. It's negative 1, negative 2, negative 2, because that is lesser than 0. In other words, imong gigrupo sila katulo basing on these restrictions kanidire. So, on the number within here, you can do decimals to make it easier, or you can do fraction. Decimals or fraction will do. In here, I'm sorry because I just solved it right away. It's solved right away. So, you need to listen, ha? Paminaw, kay para tagsa-tagsa yun siya. So, for this one, I think we will do 1/8. 1/8, that's the easiest. 1/8. 1/3 is greater than 1/4. So, 1/8 na lang ta, kaya gamay-gamay pala siya. Or any other decimals lesser than those things. Now, for this one, we are going to solve. We are going to solve 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 sets of solutions. Maunang taas yun siya. 5 sets of solutions. I think I need to erase this one first to occupy the space because they are compressing. Now, let us solve this one so that we will know if that set, this set, the set here and this set are part of the solution. Part of the solution, okay? When you say part of the solution, you can substitute those numbers here and it is still lesser than 0. Okay? Now, let us try. If x is equal to from this side, let us do, any number will do, as long as it is lesser than 0. Let us do if x is negative 3. If x is negative 3. Substitute. So that is 1 minus 4 times 3 over, negative 3 over 3, negative 3. Is that lesser than 0? 1. Negative 4 times negative 3, it is positive 12. So 1 plus 12 divided by negative 3, is that lesser than 0? Yes, because the denominator is negative. Negative. So that becomes 13 over negative 3, or negative 13 over 3 is lesser than 0. So you put yes. Yes, because that is a part of a solution. You can substitute any number here. You do negative 1, the answer is still negative. It's lesser than 0. Okay? Let us try 0 itself. If the answer is lesser than 0. If x is equal to 0. 0. Okay? Now, let us see. 1 minus 4 times 0 divided by 0. Is that lesser than 0? No. Remember, people, that any number divided by 0 is undefined. So, 0 is not part of the solution. 0, again, is not part of the solution. So, no. This is no. This is yes. No, and that is yes. Let us proceed. 1/8. 1/8. If x is equal to 1 over 8, follow 1 minus 4 times 1 over 8 divided by 1 over 8. Is that lesser than 0? Positive. This is already positive because that is greater than 0 already. So, cancel, that is 2. 1 minus 1/2, it is 1/2 over 1/8, all positive. Is that lesser than 0? No, because if you do outer or inner, cross multiply itself, it becomes 8 over 2, so the answer is 4, it's not lesser than 0. 4 is greater than 0, so this is a no. No. So you put no, because that is not part of the solution. Next, 1/4. Okay? 1/4. If x is equal to 1/4, so that is 1 minus 4 times 1/4 divided by 1/4, is that lesser than 0? Cancel, cancel. 1 minus 1, it is 0. Divided by 1/4, is that lesser? Oh, 0 divided by 1/4. 0 divided by any number, it is 0. Is 0 lesser than 0? No. They are equal. So it is still no. That is not part of the solution. So 0 is a no because that becomes undefined. This one also is a no. Let us do the last set of numbers. If the answer is still 0, let us try with 1 because that's the least. Okay? If x is equal to 1, 1 minus 4 times 1 divided by 1, is that lesser than 0? Let us say 1 minus 4. Okay, 4 times 1, it is 4 still. 1 minus 4, that is negative 3 divided by 1, lesser than 0. Negative 3 is lesser than 0. So this is a yes, because the answer is lesser than 0. So that is a yes. You have two yeses. The first and this one. Remember, if there is dot, that means infinity. And there is a dot, that becomes infinity. Now you make the interval. You need to place the interval of your solution. In other words, you can substitute 3 here. 1 minus 4 times 3, that's 12, negative 12, divided by positive 3, so it's still negative. You can substitute, so therefore we will put interval. From this side, that is negative infinity. Negative numbers, all negative has a yes, so you do negative infinity. This is the sign of negative infinity. And then you put a comma. Since this is the bar line, you include 0, but it is still a parenthesis. Because 0 is not part of a solution, of the solution. Kung ma-part na ang 0 sa solution, it becomes like that. It means 0 is part of the solution. But since 0 is not part of the solution, you just put like this. Okay? And then, and since there are two sets, the first is here and the second is on the other side, is 1/4 part of the solution that we check. It is no. So you also put like that, 1/4, comma, to positive infinity. Positive infinity is going here. That is the answer. Oh, it's quite long. That is why you need to listen because the presentation here is shortcut already. This is the processly done of the equation that we had. Of the inequality, that we have. Okay, one more. I will give you another example. Okay? Can I erase? I forgot the number. I erased the number already. What number did I use? I forgot na. We will do another number na lang tingali. Huh? Sige. This one. Example. 2x sige. Minus 5. Is this your example? Patay ko ano yun? 2x minus 5 over kanina lang. X minus 9 over 3x plus 2 lesser than or equal to 3. I think that is the example that I gave, right? Yes. This one will be the last example that we will have. for inequality. And that ends the lesson for the week. Remember, for the first part, answer the two examples, the distinguishing function or not, and also the finding solutions for solving rational equation. And the second part is rational inequality. I think you can finish that one in a matter of a week. So for this one, again, transfer all numbers to one side. It becomes x minus 9 over 3x plus 2, since that's positive, minus 3 lesser than or equal to 0. After that, combine. Combine it. You cannot combine directly because there's denominator. So you do 3x plus 2, 3x plus 2, copy, divided by 3x plus 2, it's 1, times x minus 9, so it is x minus 9, okay? So for this one, that's over 1. 3x plus 2 is still 3x plus 2 divided by 1, right? Times 3, so you do 3, multiply it with the denominator, 3x plus 2, and it is lesser than or equal to 0. After that one, simplify. It is like this. I will just put like that so that you will not be confused with the symbols, like this. Next step, x minus 9. Negative 3 times positive 3, it is negative 9x. Negative times positive, it is negative 6. Okay? Divided by 3x plus 2 lesser than or equal to 0. Combine this one, that is negative 8x. Negative 8x. How about this one? Negative minus 6. There. Negative minus 6. Negative 9 minus 6. It is negative 15 over positive 3x plus 2 lesser than or equal to 0. Now separate the numerator and the denominator and equate it to 0. So that those numbers would be the basis of our number line. So it is negative 8, I will separate, negative 8x minus 15 equals 0, transfer, that's negative 8x equals 15, divided by 8, negative, cancel, x is equal to negative 15 over 8. That is roughly 1 point something, and it is not 2. Negative 2 is negative 1 something. On the other side, 3x plus 2. 3x plus 2 was 0. So 3x equals, is this negative? Yes, they are both negative. Equals negative 2 divided by 3. X is equal to negative 2 third, or that is 0.66 something. Negative 0.6. Okay? Let us proceed. Let us solve this one using the number line. Okay. Which is lesser? Negative 15 over 8 or negative 2 over 3? I think this one. So it is negative 15 over 8. Here is negative 2 over 3. So what do you think is the number between them? Do you think there is a whole number or a number that has no fractions that you can locate? Very good. Or you don't know? Let us just answer it. It is negative 1. Negative 1, okay? Because this one is 0.6 and this one is 1 point something, it will not reach 2. Okay, negative 2. And of course, in here, it becomes negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, to infinity of negative numbers. Is 0 greater than negative 2 third? I guess so. So you put 0, 1, 2, You can do 3 or to the millions. Now, you already separated it. Let us have solution. Solution on this one. Solution. We can go back to the original equation. We can go back, or you can use this one. But it's nice to go back to the original equation, okay? Or do you want this one? They are still the same. The same ba na siya? Let's start here. Negative 2. If x is equal to negative 2, that becomes negative 2 minus 9 over 3 times negative 2 plus 2. Is that lesser than 3? Is that lesser than 3? Let's see. Negative 2 minus 9, it's negative 11 over 3 times negative 2, it's negative 6, negative 6, plus 2. Negative 6 plus 2, it is negative 4, greater than 3. 11 divided by 4. Nakaabot og 3, 11 divided by 4. Nakaabot siya og 3, pila may 3? It is 12 divided by 4. Therefore, this is lesser than or equal to. Mas gamay siya kontra sa 3. And this is a yes. Okay? That is a yes because it is lesser than 3. Now, second one, negative 15 over 8. That is a fraction, but that is fine. We still need to solve it. If x is equal to negative 15 over 8. By the way, you need to show your answers like this. Solve it like this, okay? 15 over 8. So that becomes 15, negative 15 over 8, because it is negative. 15 over 8 minus 9, divide it with 3 times negative 15 over 8 plus 2 greater than or equal to 3. I know you will use calculator for that. I cannot stop you because you are at home. But since we don't have calculator here, we will do the mano-mano thing. So, can I do a shortcut? So, that is 8, negative 15 minus 72, divide it with 3 times 15, it's negative 45, plus 16 over 8. Something like that. Lesser than or equal to 3. That is the shortcut. I mean, yes, this is the shortcut. You can do it using the simple method, the tagsa-tagsa thing. Or if you want, you can just plug this one in your calculator. Make sure that you know how to use the calculator if there are symbols and signs involved. Use parentheses, brackets, and braces. Okay? Now, after this one, combine, you multiply outer, and inner, and since they are the same, just cancel it, and then let's have these two. That is 87, negative 87 over, it is 15 minus 6, that is 9. 3 minus 1, that's 29 negative. Is that lesser than or equal to 3? Lesser than or equal to 3. How many 29s are there? 29, if you do 29, exactly it is 87. Right? So when you say 87, divided by 29, it is 3. Lesser than or equal to 3. Good thing there is equal to. Lesser than or equal to, it is still a yes. Okay? It is still a yes. Greater than or equal to, that is still a yes. It is part of the solution. Yes. Next, let's proceed. 1. Wala ko space. Sige lang. If x is equal to negative 1. If x is equal to negative 1. Let us see. That is negative 1 minus 9 over 3 times negative 1 plus 2 lesser than or equal to 3. Let's see. Negative 1 minus 9. It is negative 10. Negative 3 plus, negative 3 times 1, it's negative. 3 times negative 1, it is negative 3. Plus 2, negative 3 plus 2, pinaman. Okay. It's negative 1. Negative 3 ha, negative 3 plus 2, it is negative 1. Is that lesser than or equal to 3? When you divide, that's 10. Lesser than or equal to 3. Do you think that is a solution? No, because 10 is greater than 3. So this is a no. This is a yes. This one is a yes, but this one